Coach T podcast and the NFL show is presented by Turner Sports Training, TST.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey. You know what time it is? Yeah. You know what time it is?
You are watching a master at work.
Some people are probably like, what time is it? You know what time it is.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We are here. Welcome to the Coach T NFL show with Kyle and Hicks. We're ready to rock and roll. Kyle, Hicks, how you guys doing?
Hey man, I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm here. It's always a good day. How you fellas doing?
I'm feeling good, man. It does feel good, like we said, like Kyle just said. Good to be here another day. I lost a good friend this weekend, so I'm just trying to enjoy every bit of life I can.
Man, sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, life, man. The more, and we don't have to get too deep into things, but it's funny that you hit on that, man. It's I think life has been crazy for everyone collectively for the last 2 years basically, and it seems like kind of when it rains it pours, man. But you're right about that, Hicks. The moment you kind of sit back and realize that life is short, man. You don't have a lot of time on this earth. You got to enjoy it while you can. You got to give people flowers while you can. You got to tell people you love them when you can. All those things people tell you about, but you actually got to take heed and actually do it. So you fans out there, make sure you guys are doing that. I know that that's something I try to do every day, try to get a smile on my face and say hello to people and try to brighten their day somehow, some way. And it's not always the easiest, but at the end of the day, man, like we say, life is too short. So enjoy the moments. You're breathing, life can't be that bad. So let's get rocking and rolling, man. Again, this is the Coach T NFL show.
Talk to him.
We're going to begin with our stock up, stock down. We will go over our stock up team, our stock up player, and then our stock down team and our stock down player. This stock up, stock down segment is powered by the Coach T College Football Show with Mook, which airs weekly during the college football season on the TST Network. I'll begin here. My stock up team, I actually have a couple of them. First and foremost, my stock up team has to be the Buffalo Bills. Lost their first game and then proceeded to win their next two games 78-21. They won 35-0 weeks ago against Miami, and then last week they beat, who did they play last week? I don't know who they played last week, but they beat that team 43-21. So in the last 8 quarters of football, they've only given up 3 touchdowns. That's pretty darn good. They've truly had some dominant performances. I think Josh Allen is clearly back into the MVP race. I was a little sour on him after game 1, but you can't overreact. After game 1, I did that mistakenly, and he has proven me wrong. Shout outs to Josh Allen there. My second team are the LA Chargers. They made good on my upset pick of the week last week. Hopefully fans, any of the guys that are viewing this show or listening to the show and they're writing down for their weekly picks, I gave you guys that upset there, and they not only cover, but they actually did beat the Kansas City Chiefs as I expected. Herbert is also fulfilling my prediction that he would be a top 5 quarterback of 2021. He's gotten off to a hot start. Stock down team, I got to go with the Seattle Seahawks. They are now 1-2, and they are sitting at the bottom of the NFC West. Who would have thought that to begin the season? No one. They've lost their last 2 games after being up in both of those games at halftime. So their second half adjustments, they seemingly have none. I know Pete Carroll's a well-respected coach. He's a great coach, but they got to do something in those second halves to not squander leads. My stock up player, got a couple receivers here. I'm a former receiver myself, so I always got love for the wideouts. Number 1 stock up player, Jamar Chase. Do you guys remember just a few weeks ago where people clowned him about his statements regarding the difference between an NFL football and a college football?
Yeah, they were just giving him heat in general.
Yep, he couldn't catch a cold, and as Hicks would say, he couldn't catch COVID if he wanted to. Maybe we shouldn't joke about that, but he couldn't catch anything, man. And lo and behold, a few weeks later, the kid has 11 catches in 3 games. He's averaging 20 yards per catch, and he has 4 touchdown receptions. Now the Bengals, they are atop of the AFC North. Go figure. And then another receiver I have, Mike Will made it. Mike Williams, man, he had 7 catches last week for 122 yards and 2 tutties in the big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Stock down player, I got to go with, sorry, Kyle here. I got to go with Jonathan Taylor. He was my top flex preseason 2021 in fantasy. And now this is more of circumstances around Taylor. The Colts are now 0-3. Carson Wentz is hurt again. Quentin Nelson, he was ruled out, a lower leg injury last game. He may be out for a few more weeks. That never helps a running back when arguably the best guard in football is out. Taylor's rushing attempts have decreased each week. So things are not really looking good in Indy right now. So that's my stock up, stock down. Hicks, I want you to go next.
My stock up player is, and I'm going to give this person a stock up because I've been kind of talking bad about this team, but they've been finding a way to do something. And that's Devontae Adams. So Devontae Adams, even though I was really thinking the Packers wouldn't be very good this year, somehow he's still number 4 in the league for receiving right now through the first 3 weeks with 309 yards. And then this week alone, he was the leading receiver in the league. He had 132 on 12 receptions. And it's hard sometimes, especially think of all the controversy. Think of not even having Rodgers there. And he even opted out of it. He was saying that he may wanted to get his contract too. So I think that with all the turmoil going on there, for him to still be performing, it's pretty big time to me. So that's my stock up player. My stock down player, I would say it's tough, but I think it's gonna be Jalen Hurts. I hate to say that, man, but especially as an Eagles fan, he looked so unprepared and compared. Obviously, Dak Prescott is a veteran and knows what he's doing, but to see Dak come off that injury and then have the game studied so well and be calling audibles and making plays, and it just seemed like it was hard for Jalen Hurts to really even that same spark that the Eagles had the first game, and everybody looked like it was going to be real good. Now, of course, the offensive line was messed up, but I don't know. I feel like it wasn't a good performance to me. So, and maybe that's just me being hurt as an Eagles fan. I feel like my stock went down on him this week. My team stock up. I'm going to go again, and I think this was I don't know if this was my stock up team last week. Maybe it was somebody else's. But the Oakland Raiders, man, I don't know how they keep coming back again and getting these wins. They're just playing really good football right now. I know that Derek Carr is still leading the NFL in passing yards. He has 1,203 passing yards right now. That's more than Brady. You know what I mean? So he's doing it pretty big. And we don't even know his receivers. Think of all the people Brady's throwing to, and think of who Derek Carr's throwing to. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's kind of tough to even think about that. But their defense is playing pretty good as well. They're kind of in the middle of the league right now as far as total yards allowed. But they're one of the better teams, I think, against the rush. I think this is all kind of coming together right now. They're only allowing 120 yards on the ground. So there's a lot of teams doing better than that. But I don't know. I just feel like the Raiders are making a lot of headway. They're somewhere kind of in the middle of the league stats-wise, but they're just coming up with these wins. So that's my stock up team. My stock down team, man, Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how they dropped at the Chargers. That's just tough, man. They're really just not playing that great right now. I know, they are pretty high up for total yards allowed. And, they have a lot of yards allowed from their defense. They've given up 1,296 yards. That's the second most in the league. So it's kind of it's rough over there for them right now. And I think Mahomes and the rest of the gang got to try and figure out what's going on.
Bottom of their division, Kansas City Chiefs. Who would have guessed that? Told y'all.
I would not have.
Told y'all. Super Bowl hangover.
Yep, you're so smart. All right, so
Stop it.
Yeah, so basically for mine, my stock up team, Terrence, you basically took it out of my mouth. I got the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, they're looking really, really good. First off, their line is blocking for once. Okay, that we did not see that seem at all last year. I think they actually Joe Burrow, he was only pressured I think twice the entire game. something like that. So they're playing really well. Their defense also had 4 sacks and had a record, 17 quarterback hurries, I believe, in that game versus the Steelers. So I think their stock is just continuously rising. They're playing real well. Joe Burrow seems to be getting more comfortable every single week. So that's gonna be my stock up team.
Top of the AFC North.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. They're leading that. They're leading that right now, and it sounds like their plan is to keep up what they're doing. So
for sure.
So I like what I'm seeing from them. My stock down team, kind of going with you, Hicks, too. It's the Eagles, man. After that, like you said, after that first win, they just have not been able to get anything going. They haven't been able to stop anything. And honestly, if you look with them being 1-2 right now, their next 4 games, they got the Chiefs, the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Raiders. All right, 3 of those 4 are probably going to be part of some people's top 5, things like that. So they got a rough, in these next 4 games. I mean, going from 1-8. I mean, that'd be tough, So I think it's a true possibility with them. So that's why I'm gonna go with the Eagles as my stock down, which again does hurt me because I do like Hurts. Now, stock up player, I'm actually gonna have 3. Okay, and the reason for this is because there were 3 NFL records broken this last weekend. All right,
talk to me.
Yeah, so we had Justin Tucker. All right, 66-yard field goal. He's one of my stock up players. It hit right off the crossbar. It was perfect. And obviously, I think it was versus the Lions, right? That's
his stop. Yes, it was against the Lions. You know that.
Typical line fashion. Lose that game that way. But if you're gonna break an NFL record that was standing for I think just a few years, but still broke it, you gotta have your stock going up.
He's the greatest kicker of all time. He has to be.
Dude, I mean, him
has to be.
Vinatieri and. Yeah. I don't even know. You could argue Crosby, maybe. I think
Jason Hansen, formerly of my Detroit Lions, played 22 years.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. Gary Anderson, right?
Oh yeah, yep. Okay, he was good.
He's up there.
But anyway, yeah. So Justin Tucker, he's gonna be one of my stock up players. I also have Josh Allen, who we already mentioned. The record that he broke actually was his 5th career game where he had 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards. Okay?
A dog.
Yeah, and that actually breaks Jim Kelly's old record, which was 4. So he got his 5th one there. He's barely just starting there. You know what I'm saying? So that's going up as well. And then again, you kind of already mentioned it, but Jamar Chase, the record that he actually broke was he is the youngest player ever at 21 years old to have 4 touchdowns in their first 3 games. Okay, and you know whose record he broke? Randy Moss.
I was just gonna say Randy.
You know
Moss.
What I'm saying? Come on.
Sounds like a Randy stat. Yeah.
Absolutely. So those are gonna be my stock up players for for this week. And then finally, my stock down player. Again, I kind of have 2 on this. As much as it hurts me, I feel your pain. Hicks is Carson Wentz, man. As much as he's just not healthy. He just can't stay healthy. He looks so good. Everything, all the hype going around him this summer, but until you can get healthy, I'm worried. Let's just say that. And then my other stock down, which I actually have some real reason for, Taylor Heineke. Now this one might be a little unfair, okay, because he's only had a few starts. Was the XFL guy, I believe, right? So I think he's gonna be okay, all right. But just from what we saw, he's throwing bad. He threw like 2 really bad picks last week. He does have some grit, some toughness. He was taking some shots. He even had a good a good run diving into the touchdown. So I see some things I like from him, but there's just some choices that a high school quarterback can't be making, man, that he's doing. So that's going to be my stock down player. And those are my stock up, stock downs.
Gotcha. Tyler Heineke. Is that how we're saying it? Heineke. Look, there's a reason why he was an XFL quarterback. There was a reason why.
I'm pretty sure his name's Taylor, though.
Taylor, yes, not Tyler. I'm sorry, yes. He must not be that good. I can't even remember his first name. So Taylor Heineke, there's a reason why he was in the XFL. He wasn't even a starter in the XFL when he played. And then there's a reason why he went to ODU, Old Dominion. Like, no knock on anyone, no hate on ODU, but you typically don't get quarterbacks out of ODU. That's not a quarterback factory for a reason. So I think we'll look up, 5 years from now and say, hey, remember the Washington football team? Remember Taylor Heineke? Remember he played for them? Like, I think he's going to be one of those guys. Hopefully he has a long career, but I think, honestly, he's at best a career backup. But
he was
best of luck to
kind
him.
Of like a little bit of a phenom in college because he was like
Yeah, they had a couple upsets. They had a couple upsets over some teams. I know they beat Virginia Tech with
the
him.
most yards and the most something. He's, you know, who he really reminds me of. If you remember this guy who played for Houston and played for the Vikings, and he actually went to the University of Houston, and his name was I just had his name.
Corn.
No.
Who was it? I know what you're talking about.
Now it makes me want to look it up. Case Keenum. That's who it is.
Case Keenum.
Yeah.
So
Case Keenum,
he kind of gives me that feel of like. And Case Keenum didn't really have a ton of success in the NFL either. He bounced around a lot, and he had spurts of like looking okay, but that's what Taylor Heineke really reminds me of, like a Case Keenum, somebody who had success on kind of like a weird, not asterisk, or I just can't describe it. It's almost like a fluke.
In the realm of the Ryan Fitzpatrick type of level of player, like. He may bounce around a little bit, you know. He have a flash here and there, then he'll look bad here and there. They'll stick around the league. I mean, honestly, like I said, I think the best thing for Taylor Heineke, and hopefully I'm wrong, but I just feel like, you know, 5-10 years from now, he'll be a backup somewhere, but he'll make some money, you know.
And he actually played. You know, he played in the NFL previously and had played.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he started, when I forgot who the Washington football team quarterback was that went down. But when he started that game, that was actually his second start. That was the second time playing in the NFL. And the first time before that was like 4 years before that. So I don't know.
This is a lot of Taylor Heineke talk. I'm sure the fans.
I don't know why I know so much about Taylor Heineke.
Yeah,
he just really reminds me of Casey. He's like a football player.
You can be the president of his fan clubs because
he's trash.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. I don't think a lot of fans came to the show to listen to Taylor Heineke. But again, best of luck to him. I'm sure he's a great guy. All right, next segment.
Talk to him.
We're going to do our top 5 power rankings. Special shout out to Marco Trivunovic in the Proof Bar and Eatery in Griffith, Indiana. So I'll begin here. Clearly, again, this is our top 5 teams currently. Just as a reference point, Coach T, my top 5 teams of last week, I had number 5, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 4 was the Denver Broncos. Number 3 were the Arizona Cardinals. Number 2, LA Rams. And number 1, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now this week, okay, I have number 5, or coming in at number 5, I have the Las Vegas Raiders, who are new to my top 5. I have still at number 4, the Denver Broncos. At number 3, I still have the Arizona Cardinals. And I flip-flop 1 and 2. My second overall team in my power rankings are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are down 1 spot, and who moves up into that spot are the LA Rams, who clearly just beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The most surprising team here, or the team that has jumped the most for me, are the Las Vegas Raiders. I talked about this team preseason. I thought they would have a pretty good year. They're getting off to a really good start. Now, the thing I will say, I will preface it by saying they are, and I think Hicks, you hit on it, they're kind of a middle of the pack team stats wise, but in terms of, and this is a stat that most people don't think about, especially as they, you know, as the year wraps up and you think about who are the good teams, who are the bad teams. A lot of time it comes down to the teams that win in close games, or the teams that win in 1-score games. The Las Vegas Raiders, they're happening to do that this year. When you know you do a 180, or last year they had a bunch of close games or 1-score games which they lost. So that's really a lot of times the difference with these NFL teams. Like, they're not necessarily they're so great or they're doing something that's just entirely different than the year before. It's simply that in the close games, when it really matters, they're able to make the big play. They're able to make the big stop. They're able to do something that puts them over the top to get the win in a close game. And honestly, if I had to project over the next few weeks, I probably see, you know, next 4 games, I probably see the Las Vegas Raiders, you know, going 500, going 2-2 at best. I could be wrong, and hopefully I am, but you know, when a team is middle of the pack stats wise, they're not really spectacular on any side of the ball. Quarterback's playing really, really well, but other than that, they're not super spectacular. I just feel like, you know, at some point in time, those close games are gonna, you know, go the other way for them. Denver Broncos, I talked about them. They've been great on all sides. I cannot wait until that matchup with the Ravens this week, which we'll hit on later. Arizona Cardinals, most unstoppable offense and probably the top guy for the MVP right now, and Kyler Murray. And then, you know, Tampa Bay and the Rams. I just flip-flop those two teams because to me, they're still the two most complete teams in the NFL. And, you know, Rams won the matchup, so I had to put them over the top. My honorable mentions would be the Baltimore Ravens, 2 words there, Lamar Jackson. Carolina Panthers, who are now 3-0. Green Bay Packers, who are looking mighty scary right now, and they're 2-1. The Buffalo Bills are also 2-1. And I talked about them previously. The teams that are sliding for me, you guys hit on them. Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to toot my own horn, but they're now 1-2 in their last in their division. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have absolutely no offense. And I hate to say this because their offensive coordinator, ironically enough, was my offensive coordinator at Indiana University in college. And that's Matt Canada. So I think they'll get some things turned around. They cannot protect the quarterback and they can't run the ball. So that is a recipe for disaster, especially in the NFL. It's a recipe for disaster in Pee-wee football. But you going against, you know, grown men that are 300 pounds and they run 4.4s. When you can't protect and you can't run the ball, you're going to have a lot of problems. So hopefully Matt Canada and that offense for the Steelers, they get it going because that team does have a lot of talent. All right, next for the power rankings, we will go with Kyle.
Yes, sir. So just real quick, you said, who'd you have at 5 and 4?
5 and 4, I had Las Vegas Raiders at 5 and Denver Broncos at 4.
And then Cardinals at 3.
And then I had Cardinals, the Buccaneers, and the Rams.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so my top 5, it's going to be very, very similar. Looks like we just kind of switched up 2 other ones. At number 5, I actually have the Broncos. I do think they're looking okay, but if you actually look at their records, they were honestly kind of in the same boat with the Panthers for me, where they are in one of the last 5 undefeated teams. But they beat the Jags, the Jets, and the Giants. Okay, so it was really nothing too impressive, to be honest with you. So that's why. But I still like Teddy Bridgewater. I still think they're looking really good. I didn't feel comfortable putting higher than 5. Number 4, again, then switching them, I have the Raiders. They seem to always find a way to win this season. I think that's very Gruden-like, to be honest. And I think it seems like every single game that they come into, they believe they are the underdogs. They have that chip on their shoulder, and that's how they're playing, man. So I like them at number 4. And the rest of it's basically the same. I got number 3 at the Cardinals, 2 Tampa Bay, 1 the Rams. Obviously, they, like you said, they won that matchup, so you got to put them above that. Tampa Bay was the only defeated team, a team with a loss in this top 5 for me. And last week, being an undefeated team was like the main thing that you had to have to be in my top 5. But when you lose to, again, the Rams, which is ranked number 1, Tom Brady the GOAT, there's no way I could have them out of this top 5. So basically mostly for the same reason, like you said, Terrence. That's my top 5: 1 Rams, 2 Tampa Bay, 3 Cardinals, 4 Raiders, and 5 Broncos. Now, my honorable mentions I really, really like the Chargers. Justin Herbert went off this last week too. That kid is going to be something
legit.
Yeah, he's going to be a player. I think the Chargers have found their guy. I think it's funny they went from Phillip Rivers to Justin Herbert, which though might have another 10, 15 years of the same quarterback again. Though this one's looking like it might go a little farther. So. And the other one's Cowboys, man. I mean, their only loss obviously was to Tampa Bay, where they barely lost that. Their Dak is playing out of his mind. CeeDee Lamb playing great. Their defense, I think,
thank you.
I think just they're interesting. To me, it wasn't as impressive as I think they can be, but I think that's just because of how stacked they are, man. Like, they just have household name at every single position.
Yeah.
So saying that, they're going to be one of my honorable mentions as well.
Love it. Hicks, who you got?
Good. So my top 5 is going to be a little bit different, which is okay, right? We want to have some diversity.
Oh, yeah, we want variety, for sure. For sure.
So number 5 is the Raiders. I think that they're a good team. They're the number 1 offense right now. They've beat a a funny Steelers team. They beat the Dolphins, who are kind of, I don't know what they got going on, but they're a good team. They got the stats. They beat the Ravens in a close one. That was week 1, which I don't know about week 1 games, but they're still a good win versus Lamar and his athleticism. But so I have the Raiders number 5. I have the Cardinals number 4. They have their most marquee win being that Tennessee win, obviously. But again, that was week 1. So it's kind of a here or there. They had a close one with the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. Like, they did win, but kind of they got the field goal at the end. And I don't know about that Vikings team, and Kirk Cousins is really on and off. And then their last one was at the Jaguars, but they still are they're a high powered offense, and they look like they're ready to go. My number 3 team is Buffalo. Now, they do have a loss in the first game versus the Steelers, but again, it's week 1. It's the Steelers. It's Big Ben. It's Mike Tomlin. Now, after that, they came and put 35 up on the Dolphins and made them goose egg. So that, to me, is a very strong win. And then they go into Washington and put up 43, which I think shows that this team can really be a threat. And not only that, I'm giving them a little bit of a chip from last year being in the AFC title game. So
they're good, man.
Number 2 team is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, obviously, they came off a loss to the Rams. But like I kind of said on the show, I knew they would lose. Tom Brady would yell at people, and he didn't yell as much as I thought he would. They just, are, I don't know, they're picking up. They just signed Josh Gordon. They're about to, they signed Richard Sherman. They beat a good Cowboys team. They beat a funny Rams team that, that again, they just stink. Or I said Rams, the Falcons team that just stinks. But the Rams team that they just lost to is, probably the best team in the league, which is why I have them as my number 1 team. They have solid wins against the Bears, the Colts, and now Tom Brady, which, just goes to show. So I think they'll have a big test coming up next week versus the Cardinals. And, we'll really get to kind of see that really good defense when it has another high-powered offense on the other side of the field to go along, and as well as their high-powered offense. So my teams that are kind of, I guess, on the honorable mention on the cusp, of course, are the Cleveland Browns. I think that they will be a better team.
Yeah, shout out to the Browns, man.
Yeah,
shout out to the Browns.
They having a tough go at it right now, I know. But I think that, through the season, we'll see them be a little bit better. Their next game versus the Vikings. So they lost that first one at the Chiefs, which the Chiefs are obviously a good team, but I feel like the Browns are going to be coming along here pretty soon.
Well, if they can rush the passer like they did against the Bears, they had 9 sacks, they're going to be tough to beat, man.
Right. So, and then I guess another honorable mention team that I have is the Chargers. Like, they did take a loss to, a close loss at the Cowboys. But now that we saw the Cowboys put a lot of points up on the Eagles and be a good team, that's not looking as bad. They held them to 20 points. And then they just beat the Chiefs. So that to me goes a long way. So those are the 2 teams that I think are honorable mention. Yeah,
good stuff, man. I'm looking at each of our top 5s. I know we all have the Rams, we all have the Buccaneers, we all have the Cardinals. You don't have the Broncos, Hicks, but Kyle, do you have the Broncos or no?
Yeah, they were number 5 for me.
Okay, and then we all have the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, the Broncos to me, just beating those teams that are all yet to have won is just a big imaginary friend to me.
And that was my question. That was my question. What team seemed like a fluke?
Yeah, I'd agree, Hicks, man. I'd for sure say the Broncos. Like I said, when I was sitting here writing my top 5, I didn't even know who to really put between the Broncos, Chargers, Cowboys, and the Panthers. Now, it really is because of it's what have you done with me lately? I mean, we're going power rankings after week 3. We're not going power rankings after weeks 14. So That's the only reason why I put the Broncos in there. And then because I think that their wins were just a little bit better than the Panthers. And then obviously those other 2 they had a loss, So if I'm going fluke, which I'd for sure go the Broncos.
The Broncos have beaten the Jets, the Giants, and the Jaguars. So
see, the Panthers have beaten the Jets as well, but they've also beaten the Saints, who had a good showing, and they beat the Texans. Now it was with David Mills, but it's a win.
Yeah, and honestly, that's why I like doing the Power Fives, the Power Rankings, because to me, like you said, Kyle, like doing this early in the season, I think it really just gives us perspectives that, week to week, anything can happen in the NFL clearly, and teams can move up and down. Like they're a player or two away from either being 3-0 or 0-3. And that goes back to the point we made earlier about the Raiders. Like, to me, and I even hit on it, I did think they would have a good year. They're having a good year. But you flip a couple plays around, they're 1-2, 0-3. So a lot of times in the NFL, and fans, I want you to pay attention to this. A lot of times in the NFL, it comes down to the close matchups and who can actually win the close games. And if you're a fan of a team and they can win close games, then you should feel pretty good about this team, because they're not going to be a lot of blowouts in the NFL. That's just not how it goes. So I like doing that. I think it gives perspective for the fans to kind of see how we're thinking, how we rank teams. What's the pecking order for what we think is valuable for a football team, for a franchise. And yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I'm excited to see clearly what happens in week 4, and then what happens moving forward throughout the season. It's going to be a wonderful NFL season. It already is. It's already ultra exciting. And I'm looking forward to just keeping this going.
Talk to him.
Next segment, we're going to do the Pick the Winner segment. I actually thought about renaming this Who You Got, because I listened back to the episode. That's all I say. Hicks, who you got? Kyle, who you got? But we're going to call this Pick the Winner. These will be our week 4 matchups. This is powered by the Hobart Basketball Skills Academy. A new addition to Pick the Winner, we would do, and I don't know why we haven't done this before, but we would do a game of the week, along with our upset of the week, our blowout of the week, our highest scoring game of the week, and our lowest scoring game of the week. So the first matchup that we have the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are -7.5 point favorites, and the over-under is 46 points. A few trends here. Jacksonville is 2-5 straight up in their last 7 games against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games at home. Cincinnati is also 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games when playing Jacksonville. Kyle, who do you have?
Yeah, so this one's going to be pretty easy for me. I'm going to go Cincy. They obviously are my stock-up team. They're playing phenomenal right now. Have a lot more. I mean, I think just overall, they're the better team. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. It's funny. It's so unusual to sit a first-round draft quarterback nowadays.
Don't say it.
No. I'm not saying to sit him.
Okay.
I'm not. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm just saying it's so.
Well, you got to play them basically.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's almost like you were forced to play these guys, and I feel like if it wasn't that case, Trevor Lawrence would have had a lot better start to his career than he has now. Now there's something like I think I heard on maybe Good Morning Football or something like that, to where since 2008, I think it was butt fumble. Mark Sanchez. Yes, him and I can't remember who else, but those 2 rookies quarterbacks basically got drafted, started from week 1, made the playoffs. Ever since that's happened, that has been the expectation. And if you don't do that, you're a bust now. So I just think there's a lot going on there. So I'm going to go Cincinnati. I do think they're just a better team.
I'm definitely going to go Cincinnati. So, I mean, the Jags are just playing terrible. They're giving up 30 points a game right now. And Trevor Lawrence has 7 interceptions in the 4th week of the season. So I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I'll be a fool to take the Jaguars here. I'm with you guys. I'm going with the Bengals. Looking to the future, some could argue that, Trevor Lawrence will have the better career between these 2 quarterbacks. But right now, Joe Burrow is the more seasoned quarterback in only his 2nd year. And he has more of a grasp of what the NFL game is. And again, you guys hit on it. Cincinnati Bengals are playing really well. They are a team on the rise, and they're atop of the AFC North right now. And I don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars slowing them down one bit. So give me the Bengals here. Next matchup, we have the Washington football team visiting the Atlanta Falcons. Washington football team is -1.5 point favorites, and 48.5 points is the over-under. Washington is 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games on the road. Atlanta, however, is 5-0 straight up in their last 5 games when they play Washington. And the total has gone over in 4 of Atlanta's last 5 games when they play at home against Washington. So, Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, so honestly, that over stat doesn't surprise me because I'm sure Atlanta's over-under numbers probably been pretty low pretty recently. So with this one's tough, man, especially since both of the trends are going basically against each other. I'm gonna go Washington. I mean, I believe in defense. I don't think Atlanta's line is going to be able to handle Washington's D line. I think it's Matty Ice, or should I say, I don't even know how to do that again, but. He ain't playing so icy, all right? So,
no.
And again, I know on this show, I mean, at least me personally, I talk about quarterbacks a lot. But again, they're the guys that have the ball every single play. So
they're the franchise.
They're the whole franchise, man. So with that, until they hit that quarterback fix, which, hey, they won last week, all right? They got the dub there, but it was just really against the Giants, who I think aren't the best this year, but we'll see. But in this, I'm going to go Washington. I'm going to go the better defense.
Okay. I am definitely going to go Washington too. And just because Atlanta just hasn't played great. Like they I don't know, they barely kind of beat the Giants, which the Giants are a trash team. They got smoked by Tampa Bay, of course. They lost to my Eagles. And they just, I don't know, they're not doing a lot right now. Even though technically Washington's given up more yards per game than the Atlanta defense, but I think they've probably, not that they face better competition, but I don't know, for some reason they've just given it up a little bip more. But at the end of the day, Matt Ryan isn't the guy I think he once was. I mean, Tyler Heineke, he has actually more touchdowns. Yeah, Heineken, he has more touchdowns right now than Matt Ryan. And I just think that it speaks badly of the veterans. So I'm going to go with Washington.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if you talk about a poop fest of a game, this is like the worst matchup of the week. But surprisingly enough, something is telling me to take Atlanta, so I'm going to take the home team. Give me the Atlanta Falcons. I have absolutely no reason to pick the Falcons, and quite honestly, I would have absolutely no reason to pick the Washington football team. But I'm going to go with the home team. Washington is a 1.5 point favorite here. So if they were at home, they would be about a 4.5 point favorite. And to me, it's a toss up. You know, in Vegas and NFL standards, it's a toss up. And I just see Atlanta looking like, hey, we're 0-3. We got a veteran quarterback. We're at home. We in Atlanta. If we trying to party or hang out or trying to have a good time in Atlanta, we can't go 0-4. We can't. And I just see for some reason, I see their defense making it very tough. They don't have a good defense now, but for whatever reason, I see Atlanta's defense making it tough for our boy Heineke. So, man, give me the Falcons, man. They got to win. They got to win a game at some point. At some point, they got to win. Give me the Falcons in this matchup.
I just forgot to say, this is also going to be my lowest score game of the week.
Yeah. Fitting. Okay. Good. So Kyle sees this as a very low scoring game there. Again, the over under for this matchup is, where is it? 48.5 points. Yeah, that's way too high. That's way too high. Next game, we have Houston Texans visiting I'm going to say because we all love this team, Buffalo Bills. The Bills are the highest spread on the board. The Bills are 15.5 point favorites. Over under is 48 points. Houston is 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games when they play Buffalo. The total has gone under in 5 of Houston's last 6 games when they play against the Bills. The Bills are 8-1 straight up in their last 9 games at home, and the Bills are 10-2 straight up in the last 12 games overall. So they're obviously they've been dominant, all thanks to Josh Allen. So Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, so this one, so there's a couple different things. One, that Buffalo's 8-1 straight up in their last 9 games at home. That one loss was Steelers week 1, correct?
I would assume so. Yes, that has to be the one. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go Buffalo. There's just no way I can go with Houston. I just not in good conscience. But saying that, I will say I do believe Houston covers. I do think it's going to be a little closer. I think the scores will be closer than what the game is. But Houston can score some points. I think the fact that Buffalo's 15.5 points favorite, I think that just might be a little too high. I know it's not a betting show, but Buffalo gets the dub, but I don't think they win by 15.5.
So you trust Davis Mills?
Not that I don't
within 2 touchdowns,
or not that I trust him necessarily. And okay, let me rephrase that.
Davis Mills. Now listen to me, seriously. Davis Mills.
No, I get you.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 30. Okay. I'm just saying it is a possibility. Okay. Yeah. Houston's got. I mean, they got some pretty good veterans in there. I think they can get 1 or 2 wins that they're not supposed to this year.
I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think that they win big. I think this is the biggest blowout of the week. The Bills, I mean, I don't know. They just came off a good win against a good defense in Washington. Well, even though they haven't been actually looking that good, they're supposedly good. So, but they were able to put up big numbers against that Washington defense. And then you got to think the Texans, they scored 9 points against Carolina. So, and then they let Sam Darnold put up 24 points. So I just think Josh Allen's going to come up here and just air it out. And I'm going Bills big.
Yeah, I'm going Bills here as well. Obviously, this is a pick the winner segment. It's very easy to pick the Bills here. I mean, almost 16 point, more than a 2 touchdown point favorite here. It's also easy to take the Bills as a blowout of the week. But I actually have it's a little bit of a teaser. I have another game that I think is going to be a blowout, and I think it's going to be a little surprising for you guys. But yeah, I'm going to take the Bills here. I don't think the Texans have any answer. And again, Davis Mills, that was a rookie quarterback. We've talked about all the talented, high drafted rookie quarterbacks and how they've been struggling. Davis Mills is not even in the same breath of those guys. So how is he going to fare against a team that was in the equivalent of, the NFL's Final Four just a few months ago last season? So, I mean, this will be a blowout. This won't be anything close. But again, I have my biggest blowout of the week, which I will preview later. So stay tuned. All right, next game, we have my Detroit Lions against the Chicago Bears. The Bears are 3-point favorites and 42 points. And the over-under is set at 42 points. The total has gone over in 4 of Detroit's last 5 games on the road. The total has gone over in 9 of Detroit's last 13 games overall. Chicago is 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games against Detroit. And the total has gone under in 15 of Chicago's last 20 games at home. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, baby. All right. So, Mr. Terrence, you're going to love this, baby. This is my upset pick of the week. The Detroit Lions. They're going to go up in the Soldier Field.
It's so cold in the D.
Yes, sir. So, yeah. Hey, so I think Detroit, the fact that they had a really almost beat the Ravens, obviously, if he doesn't break an NFL record, they win that game. I still love their coach. I love just the mentality they have over there. It's the Detroit Lions. They got a lot to work on, but I think they win multiple games this year. I do. It's not going to be many, but it's going to be more than one. All right?
More than one, fans.
Yeah, it's going to be more than one. All right. And I think this is going to be one of those. Dude, Justin Fields, oh my God. He had an average of 0.78 seconds last week to throw the ball. 0.78. So that's set height. Boom. Ball's gone or you're sacked. All right. That O-line was just played atrocious. All right. And I don't know. I just got a good feeling. I think that, like I said, they'll win a few games. I think this might be the one big rivalry, and Lions come in there and they're going to get ready to go. So I'm going to go Detroit in my upset pick of the week.
Welcome to Detroit City. Welcome to Detroit City. Hey, by the way, in Detroit, a little bit of a side note, a little bit of a tangent, but Eminem is opening this week. He's opening quote unquote his restaurant, Mom Spaghetti. And if you know anything about his famous song, Vomit Already, yes. Mom Spaghetti, he's nervous. And on the surface, he look calm and ready to drop bombs. Yeah, so he's opening. Yeah, he's opening Mom Spaghetti's restaurant. So I thought that was really dope. So, Detroit got to show out, man. And then after the game, we all go celebrate at Mom Spaghetti.
Yes, let's go.
Wow.
Hicks,
Okay.
pick the winner.
Well, I mean, who else? I mean, how can I follow that up other than saying I think Detroit might win too, especially because Khalil Mack is out, so I think that's big. You know what I mean? And this team did show a lot of fight last week against Lamar Jackson, who's a really good quarterback in the NFL, much better than a Justin Fields who got put to sleep last week by, I mean, a great Cleveland defense, but still, I think that, you know, Detroit, the Baltimore game just showed something, I think, of containing probably the most explosive guy in the NFL right now. They did give up 35 points to Green Bay. They gave up 41 to San Francisco, but those were, you know, kind of, the San Francisco game is not super close, but they're kind of still there. Either way, I'm going Detroit. Detroit.
Yeah. Either way, both of these teams are crap. Let's be honest. And, you know, quite frankly, yes, as well, just to preface it, this is also my upset pick of the week, which I'm actually a little shaky on now. Seems like that's kind of a square pick, but I'm sticking with it, man. The Lions have been these, you know, granted slightly, but they've been a slightly better team. They know who their quarterback is. And you guys mentioned it. They've been much more competitive this season. And what was it, 1.78 seconds that Justin Fields has had, you know, to throw the ball last week? Not even one.
0.78.
Okay, 0.78. And that makes a lot more sense because I watch, and for the true football fans out there, like if you want a good breakdown of NFL football, there's two guys I go to, especially for the quarterback position. I go to Kurt Warner. He has quarterback QB Confidential. And then I go to JT O'Sullivan, who has the QB School, both on YouTube. They both do a great job. And I watched JT O'Sullivan's breakdown of what went wrong in Chicago for the Bears against the Cleveland Browns. And that 0.78 seconds makes a lot of sense because literally he would take a snap, and I don't want to pick on his right tackle, but his right tackle would immediately get beat, or they wouldn't get a chip by their running back, or, you know, they had passing concepts and plays that just were kind of antiquated, old school passing plays that Nagy was running that, you know, you just don't want to run, that doesn't give a young quarterback, you know, any options, anywhere to throw the ball. So I think Detroit is primed and ready to win this game, knowing that, look, this may be a team that is actually within our level of play. You go from the 49ers to the Packers to the Ravens. I mean, that alone may be the toughest 3-game stretch for any NFL team to start the season. So yeah, I'm shooting my Lions some bail right now, but at the end of the day, they are a slightly better team. They've been playing much more competitively, and yes, it seems like a little more of a square pick now, but this is my upset pick of the week. All right, next game we have the Carolina Panthers, the 3-0 Carolina Panthers visiting the 2-1 Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 4.5-point favorites, and the over/under is 50.5 points. The total has gone under in 5 of Carolina's last 5 games. Carolina is also 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games on the road. Dallas is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games overall, and the total has gone over in 9 of Dallas's last 11 games at home in Jerry's world. So Kyle, pick the winner.
I'm going to go Dallas. Okay, I'm going to go Dallas. I think now this is also going to be my game of the week. All right, this could be my game of the week. Now, the reason for that is because I think this is going to be Carolina's very first challenge. And I think they're going to, I think one or two things happen. They either make this a great game. I still think either or they come up short just because Dallas is playing out of their mind right now. It's at home. But I think this is going to basically give us as fans a lot of answers on if Carolina is legit or not. I think if Carolina does win this game, then next week we might be talking about some top.
Yeah, those questions are answered for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm calling this my game of the week just because this is going to answer a lot of questions for Carolina and honestly for Dallas too. I'm picking them to win this game, but they can. This has seemed to happen a lot where Dallas kind of starts off hot, all this hype over the summer, and then they do what Dallas does and kind of shut down. So this is facing undefeated Carolina, who is going to come in here to prove something. So I'm gonna go Dallas, but it's also gonna be my game of the week.
I love it. Hicks, pick the winner.
I mean, I just don't like the Cowboys. I mean, I think that's known.
Yeah.
they came out and they kind of showed what was what with their offensive prowess last week. I feel like, especially in the terms of Dak Prescott and his ability to like decipher defenses and just really play like a veteran. You know, like sometimes when certain quarterbacks come into play, you instantly feel like, okay, this game feels a bit more secure. It's slowing down a bit. Like,
yeah.
And I think Carolina's playing good. I'd love for them to upset the Cowboys, but Christian McCaffrey's out. It's going to be hard to really, for their offense to make some noise without Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he only has one touchdown right now on the season, but I feel like, well, one rushing touchdown. And then they do also have DJ Moore, but that's just probably not going to be enough with all of the. I mean, if you watch the Cowboys-Eagles games and you saw how Diggs was all up in every receiver's face, nobody could catch anything. He made Devontae Smith look like a little kid.
He welcomed him to the NFL.
Yeah, it was bad and it was sad. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go Dallas this time.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Dallas too. I see this game being a 31-20 type of game, and I'm almost reluctant to. I know Dallas is going to be able to score. It's whether or not Carolina can score. Again, you mentioned it. Christian McCaffrey is out. They lost J.C. Horn, their first round overall pick. They lost him last week. Their defense, Carolina's defense, has played really well to begin the year. They've pressured the quarterback a lot. But when you have an offensive line and a now run game like the Dallas Cowboys have, because I was low on Zeke last week. He was my stock down player, but I told you guys he would have a good bounce back, and he did. So the Cowboys are able to run the ball, they're able to protect Dak. And like you said, Hicks, there is something about Dak where you feel like, all right, he can control this game. And whether he is down a couple scores, whether there's a bad play on defense, whether he just threw an interception, you feel like, hey, he's still going to keep us in the game somehow, some way. He has hit that upper echelon of quarterback, and he's going against Sam Darnold that, again, they're 3-0, and we still have question marks about him. So what does that say? I see this game, being close first half, but I think it turns into Dallas by, double digits. So give me the Cowboys in that matchup. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 1.5-point favorites, and 42.5 is the over/under. The Colts are 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games. When they play Miami, Miami is 6-1 against us. Miami is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games at home, and the total has gone under in 4 of Miami's last 5 games when they play the Colts. So, Kyle, I know you're a big Colts fan. Pick the winner.
I am a big Colts fan, suffering in my sorrows over here, but it's okay. All right, it's okay. We'll be all right. Still 10-7 in a playoff win. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going for here. So, saying that, I am gonna go Indy. All right, but it's really not even the fan in me this time. I was real close to picking Miami. I think Miami, personnel-wise, doesn't have a better defense, but they've been playing a lot better. And I think it makes sense that they are the favorite. I don't know, just with the stats 6-2, I think Indy can finally get a win in here. They're coming off of back-to-back losses, and they were not okay losses either. I mean, they got blown out. Even this last week, Colts had a quarterback without ankles. He had no ankles whatsoever. We still end up scoring 16 points. You know what I'm saying? So and we didn't get blown out 35-0. So for the fact, I think even if we got Carson Wentz playing on 2 broken ankles, I think Miami could win this. I'm going to pick Indy though, because I think that they are going to decide to go with Jacob Eason, who I think is going to be, even though he has a lower ceiling than Carson Wentz by a lot, on 2 I keep saying broken, sprained ankles. I think
may as well be broken.
They may as well, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so that was a big part of Carson Wentz's games, that, you know, him running, him being a big body that's really athletic. If he takes away the athleticism, he's just another Big Ben, man, you know? So which I wouldn't really take right now either. So I'm gonna go the Colts. And I think we can finally get this first dub out of the way.
I'm actually gonna go with the Colts as well.
My man.
I mean, I just don't believe in the Dolphins, especially with Jacoby Brissett. And Jacoby Brissett's a good quarterback. He's proven that he can win places. And you know, even last week they had it. They was really close to beating Las Vegas. Like, they were right there. But I just, for some reason, not even. I mean, obviously Tua beat him out because he's a draft pick and everything. But Tua wasn't that great. I don't think he didn't look that great. And Jacoby Brissett, he was behind him. Jacoby Brissett did look good, but he wasn't ever a great player. And great players decline over time. So, like, players who look good probably, decline a little bit faster. The Colts are actually, even though they're not doing well this season, they're actually tied for 5th place, or really tied for 3rd place with turnovers. They have 3 turnovers right now, or their turnover differential is 3 right now. So they're doing a really good job of causing a ruckus on defense, I think. And with Jacoby Brissett coming in, taking the offense, they should be able to get a couple turnovers, make some plays, and go ahead and knock that first win out. Because they, with a strong quarterback, they were kind of a team that people considered to be to make a playoff run. So I think they still got that in them, and I'm going Colts to get their first win.
Real quick, you just also got to remember they are also facing their scout team quarterback that they faced for 3 years straight.
Yeah, that's facts. They played against that guy before.
Yep, they have. And I was almost going to start with a little bit of that. Maybe this is, tongue in cheek, but maybe this is a revenge game for Jacoby Brissett. Colts got rid of him and, picked up Carson Wentz because they thought he's going to be this new shiny car. And, he's been a beat down Pinto this season. So, yeah, to me, this is a toss up. Miami's only a 1.5 point favorite at home. Typical spread for a home game. Neutral teams would be 3. So they're saying that the Colts are a little bit better, even on the road. And again, what's the stat? The Colts are 6-2. Let me get that. The Colts are 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games when they play Miami. If they are starting Jacob Eason, and do you guys know that for sure? Are the Colts starting Jacob Eason?
No, they haven't announced anything yet, but I hope so.
It's kind of up in that, yeah. Yeah, this you're literally just shooting in the dark on this one because you don't know who's going to start for the Colts, and Miami, you don't know what you're going to get out of Jacoby Brissett. Give me the.
Go ahead, be different. Do it. You know you want to.
Well, Miami is 6-1 against the spread in the last 7 games at home. Just saying. If I had to lean on anything, I would take the under, to be honest. But since it's a low-scoring game, oh my gosh, and I shouldn't even be taking this long. But give me Miami. I'm moving on. We're going with the Cleveland Browns, who are 2.5 point favorites, and they are visiting the Minnesota Vikings. The over-under is set at 51.5. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, so Cleveland, Minnesota. I think this one's a little tough. Which Kirk Cousins are we gonna get? I said last week he was gonna have a good week, and he did. So this week I'm not feeling confident. to be honest with you. I think we might have another down day from Cousins. Cleveland's already stacked. I think, are they the favorite? Yeah, they're the favorite. I'm going to go Cleveland on that one. Just because, again, the Vikings are so off and on. They have no Dalvin Cook. I don't think he's coming back this week, which really sucks for my fantasy too. Second overall pick. But I think when he comes back, Minnesota is a completely different team without him. I just don't see him beating the high-powered Cleveland.
Okay. So the Vikings, to me, like I keep saying, Kirk Cousins is just, you don't know what you're going to get. It's really weird that he went up there and beat Russ at his house. It's just crazy. They didn't need to. It didn't mean anything. So that's probably why he did it. But I feel like the Browns are still a good team. I could see the Vikings winning this, but my gut just wants me to go with the Browns. Kirk Cousins is having a lot better year than Baker Mayfield. Kirk Cousins has 918 yards on the year and 8 touchdowns. Bakes is like 780, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Kirk Cousins actually doesn't have an interception yet this year, so I don't know. And then not only that, the Vikings have actually played some pretty good teams. They played the Cardinals, who's a really good team. They barely lost to them. They played Cincinnati, who's a pretty decent team. They lost to them by 3 points in overtime. And then they beat Seattle. The Browns lost to the Chiefs, but other than that, I mean, Houston and Chicago don't really mean anything. Maybe I'm going to change. Maybe I'm not going Browns. I think I'm going Vikings for the.
Talk yourself into it, huh?
Yeah, I'm going Vikings for the upset. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, technically that would be the upset because Cleveland, they are 2.5-point favorites. This is another NFL classic of early season. You don't know what you're going to really get from either team. Low spread, close game. To be honest, I got to rock with Cleveland on this one. I hate to take the road team in this matchup, to be quite honest, but they're not traveling too far. The way that the Cleveland Browns can rush the passer and then they can run the ball, and that really helps protect the Baker because he doesn't have to do too much. And I know OBJ is back, so that's a boost for their offense. I really do like the Cleveland Browns. Like, I think they're a team that, sometimes they're overhyped, especially with the names they have. But again, the way they can play defense, the way they can run the ball, the way that Baker has been relatively a safe quarterback, more of a game manager, I think that bodes well for the type of team they can be and the type of team they were last year, and they kind of have continued that this season. Minnesota, you guys hit on it. You don't know what you're going to get from them. Are they going to be an A+ team, or are they going to be a F- team? You don't know, right? So in Cleveland, it's 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games on the road, and 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games overall. They got to win by a field goal if you're talking the number. Give me the Browns here. They win this matchup. It is close because to me, if Minnesota's down, then the Browns have a defense to keep them down. If the Browns are down in this game, their run game can help them sustain drives to get back into the game, and then Baker doesn't have to do too much, and he has a couple weapons on the outside to where he can play action and make some plays on the edge. He can make plays needed if they are down in this matchup. So I don't know, man, another toss up, but like I said, give me the Browns in this matchup. Next matchup, we have the New York Giants visiting the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. The total has gone under in 9 of the Giants' last 10 games overall. The total has gone under in the last 5 games for New Orleans overall. And the total has gone over in 6 of New Orleans' last 7 games when they play the Giants at home. Those are all tricky stats, but kind of over-under. Nothing on the spreads or nothing on the straight up. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah. So this one, everything, all the stats, kind of how they're playing. Everything's telling me Saints. I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna go Giants. Now, I feel like I said it last week. I think. Yeah. So that one. Now, I kind of decided that last. I want to say New Orleans. I think they are probably the better team, to be honest with you. But I kind of feel like after what happened with the Panthers and the Saints, I'm almost putting Jameis into that Kirk Cousins type of, you really don't know what you're going to get from. You know what I'm saying? You really just don't know what's going to happen. Week 1, amazing. Week 2, awful. Week 3, amazing. Maybe we might go back and forth here. So saying with that, I'm going to go with the Giants. And I just because I think Jameis might have a really off game this week.
I'm going to take the Saints. I mean, I feel like they just came off of beating Bill Belichick. They've also, even though week 1 is week 1, they put a licking on Green Bay week 1. He did flop, man. I don't know about that. That Carolina loss is a flop, but I don't know. The Giants, I'm done with them. Like, I can't see them this year. They're giving up 388 yards a game. They don't have a lot of upside. Daniel Jones can't run straight. Daniel Jones is actually an athlete. He impresses me sometimes when he plays, but it's not enough. I'm going Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Saints too. I'll make it quick, man. Like you said, the Saints have beat the Pats, they beat the Packers, and they lost in a divisional game on the road against a team that's 3-0. So that's easy. Give me the New Orleans Saints here. Next matchup will be the Tennessee Titans, who are 7.5-point favorites over the lowly New York Jets. The over-under is set at 45.5. The total has gone over in 7 of Tennessee's last 8 games on the road. Tennessee is 8-1 straight up in their last 6 games on the road as well. The total has gone under in 6 of New York's last 7 games. And the Jets, I don't know how this stat is even. I don't know. Maybe they don't play often or they haven't for a while. The Jets are 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 games when they play Tennessee. But I think you can throw that out the window. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, man, this was easy. I mean, this is gonna be Tennessee. The Jets are the Jets still. I'm not kidding, man. It will surprise me if they win a game. Like it really will. Wouldn't be surprised if they would the Lions only own 16 teams, right?
The Lions and the Browns.
Right. Yeah. So I think the New York Jets might actually get into the record books in something, and it might be that. And the Titans' only loss was the Cardinals, who again is a good team and was week 1. As a defensive coach, having week 1 always sucks because you have 0 film on guys, 0 ways to prepare. So they've been getting better every week after that. We're going Titans easily.
Man, this is not even close. Zach Wilson has 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And the Jets,
is that good? Is that good? Is that good?
Man, the Jets leading rusher has 89 yards. You know how many yards Derrick Henry had last game? 113. So
good Lord.
It's week 2, he had 182. So listen, it's not gonna be a good game for the New York Football Jets. And I'm gonna go Titans.
Yeah, this was my honorable mention for blowout of the week. I wanted to really take this, but I wanted to kind of surprise you guys with what I think could potentially be a really big blowout, a surprising one. But this going to be up there. The Jets have absolutely nothing. You said it, 2 touchdowns and 7 picks for rookie quarterback Zach Wilson. I think he's going to be good eventually, but it ain't this season, bro. They just don't have it. Jets have nothing. Yeah, then actually I'm rooting for them to go 0-16, so we can add more teams to that sorry list of teams that are going 0-16. I was happy when the Browns did it, so my Lions weren't the only team. So Jets, good luck, man. If you're a Jets fan, I don't feel sorry for you if you're a Jets fan, because I've been a Lions fan for a long time and I had to suffer through all of this stuff. So Titans win big in this matchup. Next game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Kansas City is 7.5-point favorites over Philadelphia, and the over-under is set at 54.5. Kansas City is 11-2 straight up in the last 13 games on the road. Philadelphia is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games at home. The total has gone under in 5 of Philadelphia's last 6 games when they play at home. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, so this one, I am gonna go KC, but I can almost guarantee you they ain't covering 7.5. All right, because they're supposed to. They're supposed to cover 7.5. And what do the Chiefs do when they're supposed to do something? They don't do it. Okay, like that just is what it always comes down to. The only difference so far that I've seen from this year than last year is that last year when they didn't cover, they still won. All right, this year with being 1-2, I mean, now I don't see them being 1-3. The Kansas City Chiefs being 1-3, that would blow my mind. Okay, and because of how the tough loss that Philadelphia came from the Cowboys last week, I think they grind this game out. I think they make it a good game, but ultimately, I think KC will take this one, most likely with like 50 seconds left in the clock. It's how it always happens. So I'm gonna go KC, but they don't cover.
I'm gonna make this really quick. The Eagles are not going to win this game. We don't have an offensive line. We literally have like 3 guys banged up on the offensive line. Our leading rusher is also our leading passer. It's just our quarterback. So,
oh my god,
that's not good for your team. And yeah, Kansas City just came off a loss, so they're looking to avenge. So regretfully, go Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, their only win this season was week 1 against the Falcons, who are 0-3. Like, I know it's your team, Hicks, and I know it was a good week 1 story, but I mean the Eagles weren't supposed to make the playoffs this year. They were supposed to be at the bottom of their division this year, like, and it is starting to play out that way. And KC, quite frankly, they have to win this game. Like, this is a must win for Patrick Mahomes and crew. I know Andy Reid he had some health complications during last week's game. After the game, he had to go to the hospital, something like that. And I just think this team rallies and they understand the importance and the magnitude of this game. And they should win this game. This should be a layup for them. So now that I think about it, this has potential of blowout of the week. So give me KC in this matchup. Next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals visiting the LA Rams. It's a great matchup. The Rams are 4.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 54.5. The total has gone under in 5 of Arizona's last 5 games on the road. So their last 5 overall on the road, they've gone under. The Rams are 5-0 straight up in their last 5 games when they play the Cardinals. The total has gone over in the last 5 games for the Rams. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yes, sir. So in this one, I think, well, first off, I forgot to say it earlier, the Tennessee over Jets, that is going to be my blowout pick of the week. This one was my honorable mention for game of the week. I think it's going to be a really great game. But the reason why I picked it for that is because I think it's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. Okay. I am going to take the LA Rams. They're still my number 1 in my power ranking. I think there's potential. We got to wait till see how the rest of these games go out. But they potentially are the last undefeated team in the NFL after this week.
Okay.
So
I can see that.
I actually was going to have this as my high scoring game of the week and my game of the week. I think it's going to be a shootout. It sucks that it's not a primetime game, right? But it is what it is. So, but we'll get to see some good football in the middle of the day. And I'm going to go ahead, and I always like to go with veteranism over.
Yep, that's your thing. You like the veteran quarterbacks over the. Yep.
So I'm gonna go Rams.
Yep. Yeah, I mean this probably should be a primetime game. Looking at this matchup, Arizona, they're able to obviously score the ball. They're not great on defense, but they can pressure the quarterback when needed. The Rams have just been, again, number 1 overall in all of our power rankings, especially after last week. They're back at home. This is a divisional game, and divisional games at home mean the most for NFL teams, and they completely understand that. And Sean McVay, he understands that. Matt Stafford, who's in the best position of his life, he understands that. So I'm going with the Rams in this matchup. Next game will be the Seattle Seahawks visiting the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are 3-point favorites at home, and the over-under is set at 52.5. Seattle is 13-2 straight up in their last 15 games when they play the 49ers, and the total has gone over in 5 of San Francisco's last 6 games when they play against the Seahawks. Kyle, pick the winner.
The winner, Seattle versus San Fran. I'm gonna go Seattle, to be honest. I've been openly not the biggest on Russ Wilson. Yeah, I haven't been openly really the biggest on him. But I mean, he still is a baller, especially after that tough loss to the Vikings. Russ is a natural leader. He's going to bounce back. He's going to bring these guys back up. I don't know. I just think there's not many times that Russ Wilson Seahawks really lose twice in a row. So I'm gonna go Seahawks on this one. I think it is gonna be a decently close game, but I don't know. I think the 49ers gonna be surprised in this one, kind of just come out a little flat. And I'm gonna give this one to Seattle.
Okay, this is actually gonna be my close game of the week. They always just grind it out. It's a rivalry. I think it's just one of those games, but I'm gonna go with San Francisco. Is it silly if I go with San Francisco? I know that
no.
Russell just came
and
off
they're the favorites
too. But I just feel like they got something going, and they kind of with Deebo Samuel they got a nice, I don't know, a nice something. So I'm gonna go with San Francisco.
Yeah, and this game for me has the potential to be the highest scoring game of the week. Seattle doesn't play they don't play a lick of defense. In San Francisco, their defense is a bit overhyped. The total is set at 52.5 points. So fans out there, if you listen to our show, which I know a lot of people do, and they want tips for the game so they can make their picks, I do see this as a game that would be very high scoring. This is correct me if I'm wrong, this is a divisional matchup as well, right? Both NFC West teams, they have to be.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just talked about this with the last matchup. Actually, the last 2 matchups have been all 4 teams are the NFC West teams. I talked about the importance of home games when you're playing a divisional matchup. Highly important. So with that being said, I love Russell Wilson. I don't know how you don't, Kyle, but I love Russell Wilson, and I love him because of games like this. You guys watch Seattle. If they can just make second half adjustments, because the last 2 matchups they've lost, they have blown halftime leads. So as long as they can get off to a hot start and they can make some second half adjustments against a team that, yes, it will be tough against the 49ers. You guys mentioned Deebo Samuels. He along with Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp, they are tied with 9 receptions of 15 plus yards or more. So Jimmy G, he's getting Deebo Samuels the ball. They got Brandon Ayuk. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. Obviously, they got Kittle. But for some reason, man, to me, this is a game that is going to be high scoring. Russell Wilson is going to be running around for his life, but he's going to be running around and making plays. Give me the Seattle Seahawks in this game in a very close, a very high scoring matchup, a very entertaining game as well. Next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are a 1-point favorite in this matchup, and the over-under is set at 44.5 points. The total has gone under in 4 of Baltimore's last 5 games on the road. Total has also gone under in 4 of Denver's last 5 games overall. Baltimore is 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games, and Denver is 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games. Kyle, pick the winner.
This was a little tough. This is another game that we are finally going to get some answers from Denver too, just like the Panthers game. I really, really, really want to say Baltimore.
Can Lamar do it again? Can he put on the cape?
Can he do it again? Because the thing is, like I said, right now with all their running backs out, and I don't think Hollywood Brown just really like playing to. They don't have really receivers that have been playing up to their hype. At least I think. Not that they've been doing bad, just expecting more, I think I'm gonna go Denver, man. I do. This is at Denver, right? They said
this is yeah,
man. That high altitude over there, I'm gonna go Denver. I think Lamar just can't do it himself every single week. Denver's still an undefeated team. Baltimore is not. So as much as I think they have the better guy in their center, I think they're still kind of similar. I'm gonna go Denver on this. I'm gonna go the undefeated team. I think Lamar just needs a little more help, just a little bit, to do it week in and week out.
Well, I think that the Ravens have had so many close games. You know what I mean? I still don't think the Broncos have nothing. Like, they haven't played anybody. I think they're the biggest pretending undefeated team. Lamar should come out here and, I mean, I guess do what he's been doing to all the actual good teams. But the interesting thing is that it's the battle of the U of L quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson.
Throw your L's up.
Maybe Teddy Bridge could come out here and do something. You know, the Ravens are actually in the same situation as the Eagles, where their leading rusher is their leading passer. So I said that wasn't a good situation, but I don't know.
This is the one situation where it is good.
Yeah, this is the one situation where that probably is still okay. So, and all the running backs are hurt. So I'm gonna go Ravens on this one.
Two prominent questions we've had for this game. Can Lamar Jackson put on the cape again? I don't know. We'll see. Also, you know, with the Broncos, are they for real? That's the question. I would have more of a question of whether or not the Broncos are making a step up in this matchup if they had to travel to Baltimore. But since this game is in Denver, it's in Mile High Stadium, we know the altitude and how that can affect players. Lamar Jackson has been running for his life for the last 3 weeks. I think that Denver makes a statement in this game, especially their defense. They've been playing balls out on defense. I think they fly around at home. Von Miller is kind of back to the Von Miller he once was a few years ago. You have Bradley Chubb, who's playing up to his first round potential, and I really think Teddy Two Gloves is ready to prove that I'm not only a starting quarterback in the NFL, but I'm a starting quarterback for a good playoff team in the NFL. Something that he was on his way of proving in Minnesota before he tore his knee up. So I like Denver at home. I like their defense to rally. Give me the Broncos. All right, next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 6.5-point favorites in this matchup, and the total is set at 45.5 points. Pittsburgh is 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games when they play Green Bay. Green Bay is 15-2 straight up in their last 17 games at home. That's a phenomenal stat. The total has gone over in 5 of Pittsburgh's last 6 games when they play Green Bay. And the total has gone over in 6 of Green Bay's last 7 games overall. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with my boy Aaron Rodgers on this one. Steelers haven't been looking great, man. They just really have not been looking good. They had that obviously that week 1 win in Buffalo, which was really impressive. But since then, like I just said, all right, as a defensive coach, I know week 1 always sucks. There's no film. There's you have to prepare for literally any possible scenario that there is. So week 1's always a challenge. I don't really want to judge much off of that. Judging more off like with their loss with the Raiders, who again is a good team, but everything's been close with them. And then the Bengals, who is my stock-up team, but I don't think they're here to like compete for any Super Bowls, you know, which at the Steeler organization in Pittsburgh, that's what they're expecting, you know. So saying that, I'm gonna go Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna keep getting better and better. They'll have some off games. I don't think the Packers will lose more than 2 or 3 games this year, but it ain't gonna be this one. I'm gonna go Packers.
I am also gonna go Packers. I don't know. I feel like Aaron Rodgers kind of came out, showed that everybody counted him out, and that made it, you know, any type of motivation to people is always a good thing, usually in their favor. So people counted him out. He came out with more motivation in these last couple games. Devontae Adams, like I told you, he's performing well. And the Steelers, with TJ Watt being out, Schuster being out, like these are some of the primetime people. And they're not out, but they're questionable. And like they're kind of banged up. Did y'all see that clip of Ben Roethlisberger falling down the ground?
Oh my God, dude, that was so funny.
He looks kind of old.
I didn't see it.
It's just it's looking bad for the Steelers. I think it gets worse from here on out. Ben's got 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I'm going with the Pack.
Yes, I'm going with the Pack as well. Yeah. Yes.
Imagine watching your 6-year-old son playing quarterback and throw the ball and trip over his shoelace. That's big bad. I'm not kidding.
Oh Lord have mercy! I got to get on Twitter and see that. Yeah, this this matchup, and I'm surprised that I haven't seen it yet. As much as I'm on Twitter. Hey, if you're on Twitter, tweet at me, shout me out, man. I'll give you a follow back. But this was very close, a close second to being my blowout of the week. I feel like the Green Bay Packers at home, and let me read this stat again. The Green Bay Packers are 15-2 in their last 17 games at home. They don't lose home games. That's, what is that? 15-2, 17. So let's say you get 8 home games a year. That's losing 1 home game over the last 2 seasons. Like, that is amazing. I don't see the Steelers keeping it close. Again, shout out to my former offensive coordinator in college, Matt Canada. Shout out to you. But I do not see the Steelers keeping it close. And I think if you take the name and the recognition of the Steelers off of their jerseys, a lot of these guys are average players, man. They really are. And the Steelers, what are they known for? Defense. Their defense has been a little spotty this year. They're known for toughness in the run game. They really can't run the ball this year. I think it was Big Ben. He had to throw the ball. If I'm reading this correctly, I think he had to throw the ball nearly 60 times last game. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. So this is very, very, very close to being my blowout of the week. I think the Green Bay Packers put a whooping on the Steelers, and I don't think it's close after the first 3 minutes of this game. All right, next matchup, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 7-point favorites over the New England Patriots. The total here is 49.5 points. Tampa Bay is 10-1 straight up in the last 11 games overall. They're also 8-1 straight up in their last 9 games on the road. And the total has gone under in 7 of New England's last 8 games when they play Tampa Bay. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yes, sir. So this is Mr. Tommy Boy's first day back in Foxborough. They're going to welcome him in as New England. Obviously always does to their guys. They love when they come in, but as soon as that clock starts, they're the enemy. So I think Tom Brady. I think he's going to have one of the loudest games that he might possibly has been a part of. But he's still gonna take the dub. All right, he's gonna go in there. He's gonna show what they're missing. He's gonna show Mac Jones, he ain't him yet. All right. I think it'll be a good game too. Just still Bill Belichick. I mean, who knows Tom better. You know what I'm saying? So I think saying that they're going to play well against Tom Brady's little weaknesses that he has, but saying that Tampa Bay they still have the better roster, they still have the more experienced quarterback. Still Mac Jones, only his fourth game. So Tampa Bay taking this one, probably covering too.
I gotta go Tampa Bay all the way. I don't even think this is really gonna be a good game, especially because Tom Brady knows everything they're gonna do. I mean, he came from there. That's his team. He's gonna be in his house. He's gonna want to show out. They're actually probably gonna be cheering for him as well. Not maybe for the team. He's gonna
probably get the same ball boy to kind of deflate the ball a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's gonna be Bucks and Bucks big. That's my story.
Yes. I agree with you, Hicks and Kyle. This game checks off a couple boxes for me. This is the game of the week for me. I love that. Again, Brady is visiting Foxborough for the first time to face Belichick and the Pats. Enough said there. This is kind of like, in a way, LeBron going back to Cleveland first time. So it's going to be a high emotional game. This game will be my highest scoring game of the week. And that is solely because I see Tom Brady hanging 50 on the Patriots. I think Tom Brady would like nothing more to, again, they just lost last week. So now you're about to catch a heated Brady going back to Foxborough, where, again, you guys talked about it. I mean, arguably the most magical run in maybe all of sports over the last 20 years with the Patriots. He would love nothing more to hang 50 on Bill Belichick and his defense and his team and his new quote unquote, Tom Brady replacement. Nah, I don't see that. This will be my highest scoring game. This would be my blowout of the week. And I'm not even going to name a score for you. I see this being 52-17 type of game. And I think the Pats would be lucky if they get 17. Lucky. And then you go and get Brady. He's gonna add a few more weapons to his team for next week. So things are looking good in Tampa Bay, and I think the Bucs knock down the Patriots back down to earth. Last matchup of the week, the Monday night matchup, we have the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the LA Chargers. This could be the Coach T Bowl easily, because both these teams are teams that I absolutely love. I love both of these quarterbacks. A few trends in this matchup. First of all, the Chargers are 3.5-point favorites in this matchup, and the over-under is set at 52.5. The total has gone over in 7 of Las Vegas' last 8 games. Las Vegas is 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games on the road. The Chargers are 6-1 against the spread and 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games overall. It's gonna be a wonderful matchup for Monday night. Kyle, pick the winner.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good game, man. This is gonna be divisional. I think 2-2. I don't really see the Raiders being able to go 4-0 and the Chargers 2-2. That sounds really odd to me. Now, as much as I think it could happen because the Raiders have obviously won games already this year that they should have not won, this could easily be one of those again. But Justin Herbert, I mean, he just came off a monstrous game, man. He just seems to be getting better every week. I think I'm gonna go the Chargers. I think they tie this divisional up 3-1. And obviously to see what happens with the Broncos, they might even take the head of it. I think Justin Herbert is just overpowered. I think they might be the better team, maybe, even though the Raiders might have been playing a little better right now, or at least finding a way to win a little better. That's more accurate. But where is this at? You said
this game will be in LA.
LA, yeah. I'm gonna go home team. I don't think Raiders comes in there and wins this game. I'm gonna go Chargers.
Me too. I'm gonna go Chargers. This is Monday Night Football, right?
Yes.
So it's gonna be prime time, West Coast.
A lot of
teams,
fireworks. Yep.
You know what I mean? Raiders coming back to LA, but you know, Justin Herbert wins this one. I think that just goes to show, you know, him being able to win a big game against an opponent that is on a roll, and then like think about, well, even though the Eagles have a banged up offensive line, but think about like your Jalen Hurts and your Justin Fields and these other players, and maybe they're not really all the way comparable to Herbert because they're rookies, but I can't even think of anybody right now, but or maybe even a Taylor Heineke, and think about Justin Fields performing.
Oh my God! If I hear Taylor Heineke one more time.
But just think about how good Derek Carr, how good Justin Herbert is to be a like second-year guy who's able to beat a team undefeated prime time, and none of those other quarterbacks that I just named could probably do that. And so I think that says a lot about him, and I'm gonna go Chargers.
Yes, I'm going to join you guys with the Chargers. You guys know I love both of these teams. A little bit of a side note. Do the Los Angeles Chargers, do they have the best jerseys in football right now? Like those powder blue pants with the white tops and the yellow. Oh, so clean, bro.
They are.
So clean, man. They're back home for this one. This is a third game, which I've hit on this point. This is a divisional game. This is a home game for the Chargers. It is of utmost importance for them to win this game, especially when you talk about being able to tie the division up and, you know, possibly get a tiebreaker, you know, down the road. So this is, I hate to use the word must win, but if I'm a coach for the Los Angeles Chargers, I know the importance of this game, and I want to stress that to my players. And I really shouldn't have to stress that much because they should understand the importance of this matchup at home. Give me the Chargers. This has all the makings, being a Monday night game, as you guys mentioned, 2 West Coast teams. I think this game goes into overtime, and I think there are an abundance of points scored in this matchup. I don't see any defense stopping any of these offenses, and you guys know I love both of these teams, both of these quarterbacks that were high on my list. Justin Herbert, I remember some people laughing at me when I said he's going to be a top 5 quarterback of 2021. Look who's laughing now. So I really feel like the Chargers understand the importance of this game. They win this at home. High scoring matchup, fun game to watch, and I cannot wait for this game on Monday night. So that'll wrap it up for us. This has been fun as always. The NFL season is heating up. Our show is heating up. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. We're on YouTube. We're on obviously, all your podcast platforms, your Spotify, your Apple, and all that stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm excited for what the future holds for this show. And again, the better the games are, the better we can produce content for you guys. So Kyle, Hicks, you guys have anything to say?
Hey man, I'll just say we are going into week 4, 17 weeks. That means we are about to be a quarter of the way done. It's going by fast. I'm having a lot of fun though. Hope you fans out there are having fun listening. And I'm just ready to keep this going.
Yeah, man, and then just keep subscribing to the show, sharing the show, listening to the show. Tell your peoples, we enjoy y'all ingesting and taking part of the show with us. So everybody, yes. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Coach T. Shout out to Kyle. It's been a good time. Let's keep it rolling for the rest of the season, and I'll see y'all next week.
Yes, and let's keep it rolling. And if you want more NFL content, please check out Hicks's show, the Yo and Hicks Picks. They do a great job as well. Just even more content and information if you're an NFL head like we are. Hopefully this show does help the people. We made a joke about this last week, but if you got your parlays, you got your money line, you got your upsets, you got your over-unders, hopefully we're helping with that. Again, not a betting show, but if we can help you make a little cheddar, a little money, more power to you. So from us to you, this is me, Coach T. Keep showing us love, keep rocking with us.